Act 5 Training and Mastery. In the ageless lands of Zana, where reality intertwined with whimsy, Aurelio embarked on the most rigorous phase of his training. A vibrant realm of exotic splendor stretched out before them. The psychedelic tropical forest teemed with surreal mystical creatures, shimmering in the ethereal half-light of this timeless place. The air was thick with the resonance of the unseen, the smell of life in its most primal form. Zana's heart seemed to beat louder here, in sync with the orchestral hum of creatures unseen. The whisper of the foliage, the rhythmic breath of the forest. They began in the realm of heat and fire, where Aurelio learned to wield the energy pulsing beneath Zana's skin. The forest was ablaze with living flames, creatures of pure incandescence, illuminating the undergrowth with fiery brilliance. Talion guided Aurelio, teaching him to tap into the raw energy to shape it, to become one with it, and finally to release it without scorching the balance. In his palms, Aurelio held fire as bright as a star, yet as gentle as a candle's flicker. He learned to control its intensity, to let it dance between his fingers without burning him. By the third day, Aurelio could conjure the living flame from thin air, harness its heat, and direct it with his will. His training in the realm of heat and fire helped him understand the essential nature of energy, the give and take, the dance of creation and consumption. It was a hard-earned knowledge, gleaned through countless attempts, through minor burns and stinging blisters. Aurelio's control over fire not only became a testament to his growing power, but also to his burgeoning understanding of the fragile equilibrium of Zana. To create fire was not merely about summoning heat. It was about understanding the need for balance, the dance between creation and destruction. It was about respecting the power and not letting it run rampant. Even as he held a miniature sun in the palms of his hands, Aurelio was ever mindful of the teachings of Talion. These were not mere parlor tricks or playful diversions. They were lessons in respect, in understanding, and in humility. In mastering the art of fire, Aurelio did not become its master, but rather its friend. Its partner, he learned to listen to its voice, to understand its desires, and to dance alongside it in the great ballet of existence. With his newfound comprehension of the realm of heat and fire, Aurelio was ready to move to the next stage of his training, the realm of cold and ice. However, that's a tale for another time, for another journey into the surreal wonders of Zana. Aurelio's focus shifted to the furnace of fiery discipline as he entered the domain of heat and fire, his third realm of mastering. His sessions took place amid glowing magma pits under the incandescent glow of giant luminary plants, their ruby fronds flickering like eternal flame tongues. The air around him simmered with sweltering intensity, making even the slightest movement seem like a formidable task. Yet he persevered rather, his determination fueled by the inferno around him. His task here was not merely to endure the searing heat, but to bend it to his will, to dance with it, to make it an extension of his being. Talion instructed him to reach out to the plumes of fire, to feel his untamed spirit and understand their whimsical language. Soon enough, the fiery inferno ceased to be a hostile environment. It turned into a lively ballad of flickering flames, its erratic rhythm a testament to the untamed essence of this elemental force. Aurelio began to channel the intense energy of the flames, commanding them into intricate patterns that lit the surroundings with a dazzling light show. He learned to infuse the raw energy into his being, letting it permeate every fiber of his existence. With each day, Aurelio was becoming less a stranger to this realm and more a part of its fiery heart. As he practiced amidst the blazing flames, Aurelio felt his own inner flame resonating with the external. A strange synchronization began to form. A unity between the self and the surrounding that transcended the physical dimensions. He was no longer manipulating the fire, he was the fire. His thoughts, actions and will all seemed to emanate from this newfound nexus of fiery energy. At the peak of his fiery immersion, Aurelio discovered a new skill. The young guardian could project his consciousness through the ethereal flame pathways, creating a network of fiery tendrils that extended his senses far beyond the physical realm. This newfound ability allowed Aurelio to tap into the primal force of the element, harnessing its raw power to fuel his spirit, pushing his abilities beyond their conventional boundaries. This remarkable progress marked the end of Aurelio's fiery phase. Now it was time for him to move on to a new challenge. The realm of cold and ice, yet the fiery spirit he had cultivated within him would remain, a glowing ember in the heart of his existence. Aurelio's initiation into the first phase of his journey introduced him to a new realm, that of intense heat and fire. Underneath the canopy of burnished gold and scarlet, they practiced amidst ember-tipped ferns that rustled with an ethereal flame. Here, the air shimmered, a mirage of fluctuating heat waves, and the ground beneath was warm as the beating heart of Xana herself. Talion instructed Aurelio to embrace this scorching environment, to feel the energy vibrating around them. Fire, Talion intoned, is both creation and destruction. It purifies and reduces all to their rawest form. It's a relentless force, a testament of raw passion and wild abandon. Aurelio observed as Talion drew forth flames from the incandescent ferns, shaping them into a living, writhing serpent of fire. The flame serpent hissed and cracked, swirling around Talion before turning its fiery gaze towards Aurelio. He could feel its heat on his skin, a sensation that was terrifyingly primal and electrifying at the same time. To master fire, Talion continued, his voice steady amidst the blaze. You must understand its nature. It's volatile and unpredictable, yet it follows its own set of rules. Learn them, and you can bend fire to your will. Aurelio nodded, taking a deep breath. Closing his eyes, he reached out with his senses, trying to connect with the essence of the fiery realm around him. He felt the wild energy, the crackling of raw power, the heat pulsating in rhythm with his own heartbeat. In that moment, Aurelio was one with the flame. He opened his eyes to see the fiery serpent before him, its form flickering as it mirrored his breath. Aurelio reached out a hand and the serpent gravitated towards him. He felt the flame dancing over his skin. It was warm, lively, yet he was not burned. It was in his control now. Talion nodded with approval, watching as Aurelio manipulated the fiery creature with an intensity that mirrored the environment around them. Remember, fire is a mirror of your soul, Aurelio. It can cleanse, purify, and it can consume. Talion warned, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. as Aurelio continued to explore the boundaries of his newfound control. Their training continued in this realm of heat and fire, pushing Aurelio's understanding of his abilities further. Each session was a step closer to unlocking the mysteries of his powers, yet with each step the specter of the unseen storm loomed ever larger in the distance. Leaving behind the fiery garden of surreal blooms, Talion led Aurelio into a realm draped in frost. This icy land was punctuated by crystalline structures, its skies dusted with a gentle flurry. Here the mystical properties of the environment allowed even the most subtle of thermal energies to be perceived. Aurelio was instructed to adjust to the chill, to let it become a part of him without harming him. Gradually, he learned to manipulate the cold, transforming it into beautiful frost sculptures and subtly changing the icy wind's course. The boy began to understand the chill not as an enemy, but as another aspect of existence to embrace and manipulate. Among the iridescent icicles and snow-dusted plants, Aurelio saw a different kind of beauty, a different rhythm to life. The icy realm slowed things down, made them clearer and in some ways more straightforward. Talion instructed Aurelio on harnessing the energy within the calm, the clarity that can only be found within the heart of the coldest winter. The heart of ice was not dead but vibrantly alive in its tranquility, and Aurelio learned to become one with it. Under Talion's mentorship, Aurelio developed his skills further, practicing the craft of calling forth the icy winds, the crystalline frost, and even the snowflakes, each carrying a unique pattern, a testament to the intricate balance of reality. Every snowflake was a lesson in the delicate dance of creation, and Aurelio started to understand the underlying symphony within the silence of the frost. Throughout his training in the realm of cold and ice, Aurelio's perspective of existence expanded. He learned not just to perceive the world around him, but also to understand its deepest essence. The rhythm of the seasons, the pulse of energy within every element, the myriad connections that intertwined everything in the vast symphony of reality. The Arctic tranquility offered Aurelio deeper insights into his role. He was not just to bend and manipulate, he was to respect and understand the rhythm of existence, a symphony he was gradually learning to conduct. And with each passing day, Aurelio grew more in tune with this grand orchestra of reality, a step closer to mastering the remarkable abilities he'd been gifted, and the responsibilities they bore. But even as Aurelio embraced the tranquil beauty of the frost realm, a shadow of an impending storm was forming in Xana, preparing to test the young guardian's mettle in ways he had yet to fathom. After the heat of the realm of fire had singed his edges, shaped his spirit and resolve, Aurelio now ventured into the realm of golden ice. A stark contrast to the blistering reality he had experienced before. This was a domain of frosted silence, where each breath was a puff of white mist hanging in the cold air, where the world seemed to sleep beneath a blanket of snow and ice, and every sound echoed as if it were amplified by the crystal clear ice that shimmered everywhere. As he veered deeper into this realm, Talion guided him, his calm voice breaking the almost sacred silence of the ice. This new environment required Aurelio to adapt quickly, to embrace the cold and draw upon its power. With Talion's guidance, Aurelio learned to control the chill, to bind it to his will, to shape it into creations of his mind, and yet never to let it extinguish the warm heartbeat of life within him. The icy realm was a teacher of a different kind, a harsh mistress showing him the fragility of life, the importance of warmth, and the strength that could be found in what seemed fragile and delicate. Aurelio learned to draw upon the biting wind, forming icy gusts that could shape and mold the landscape. His breath became the crisp, cold breeze whistling through the labyrinthine ice canyons, singing songs of frost and snow. With the wave of a hand he summoned blizzards that roared with winter's fury. Yet within the eye of this storm he stood unscathed, the master of frost in this domain of white. Frozen rivers and waterfalls, their momentum captured eternally by the frost, stood as beautiful sculptures in this icy realm. Here Aurelio practiced the art of transmutation, turning ice into crystal clear water, then back into a myriad of intricate frosty designs. He weaved frost onto the barren branches, creating delicate, shimmering leaves of ice, their veins etched with the promise of life amidst the chill. In this realm, the silence was its own form of communication. Aurelio learned to listen to it, to interpret the soft whispers of the wind, the faint creaking of ice expanding and contracting, the gentle rustle of snowflakes landing softly upon the frozen ground. It was a lesson in subtlety, in understanding the importance of things often overlooked or taken for granted. Talion watched as Aurelio manipulated the ice, each display more intricate than the last. The elder guardian could see the power growing within Aurelio, the skillful control he wielded over the elements, yet also the deep respect he held for them. Every icicle shaped, every snowflake crafted, reflected a profound understanding of the balance required. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the cold became a part of Aurelio. Not as a harsh, biting enemy, but as a trusted companion, a testament to his resilience. He had learned the language of the frost, and through it he discovered a strength within himself that was as enduring as the ice and as captivating as its beauty. Yet as he journeyed on, moving from the frosty embrace of this realm towards the next, Aurelio could not shake off the undercurrent of unease, a foreboding whisper that echoed in the silent spaces of the frozen land. Something was stirring in the depths of Xanadrium, a shiver that wasn't born from the cold. The storm that was yet to arrive was growing closer, and Aurelio's training was far from over. His mastery of the elements was just the beginning of a journey that promised trials he could not yet fathom. His test would come not in the silence of the ice, nor in the searing heat of fire, but in the heart of the mystical, psychedelic jungle that awaited him. The journey was far from over, but Aurelio was ready, armed with the lessons of the fire and ice and the unyielding spirit within him. As Aurelio's journey of discovery led him into the realms of fire and ice, it was time now to step into the dominion of air, to learn the art of flight and understand the paradox of weightlessness. He turned to Talion, who nodded, understanding the unspoken question in Aurelio's eyes. Walking into an open field, Talion extended his hand towards the sky. The air around them began to shimmer and the wind picked up speed. An ethereal staircase made of pure air appeared, winding upwards, spiraling into the heavens. Aurelio, feeling an electrifying energy coursing through him, took the first step onto the stairway. It felt as solid as ground under his foot, yet it was as if he was stepping on a cloud. He ascended, each step bringing him closer to the boundless sky above. Talion followed, his eyes glowing with a sense of pride and anticipation. Reaching the top, they were met with a breathtaking view, a sea of clouds below them and the crystal clear sky above. Stretched out in an endless canvas of blue, Talion turned to Aurelio, his voice a soft murmur against the gentle whisper of the wind. The element of air is elusive, yet ever present. It teaches us the beauty of movement and the essence of freedom. To master it, you must learn to be as light as a feather, yet as unstoppable as the wind. Aurelio closed his eyes, letting the cool breeze run through his hair. Feeling it against his skin, he took a deep breath, pulling in the crisp air, feeling its freshness fill his lungs. He focused on the gentle flutter of a distant bird's wings, the rustle of leaves far below, the echoes of the wind, and the silence of the open sky.